stars of the sky or the sand of the seashore. The stars of the sky and the sand of the seashore. That's what God told Abraham, that his descendants would be of the stars of the sky and the sand of the seashore, too many to count. But God is not interested in the too many to count. No, he's not interested in the sand of the seashore or the stars of the sky. He's interested in grapes. Yeah, you heard me right. He's interested in grapes. And I'm testing the new camera equipment. Here's what it says. Maybe I gotta get glasses to read this. I don't know. And I saw, no. Oh, where is it? Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and reap, for the time has come for thee to reap. This is the end of it all, okay? You understand that? The end of everything. It's all over. It's all done. What Peter described, or what's in 2 Thessalonians, and the end. It's all over. Harvest time. Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time has come for thee to reap. Remember, God's interested in grapes, not the stars of the sky or the sand of the seashore. This earth is a filter. He is looking for, this earth is a filter, this place where choices are made that last forever. We are all God's creation, but we are not all God's kids. For the time has come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth, the whole earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle onto the earth, and the earth, everything, the whole earth was reaped. The whole earth, not just a little bit of it, not part of it. The earth was reaped. And I heard another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire. Now remember what Peter said about how the earth comes to an end in a fire consumed, and fire, and or in Revelation, they rose up from all over the planet against Almighty God, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. It's all done. One cataclysmic event. It's all over. And another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters. He had power over fire, okay? Gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. Now, when you have harvest, you ever seen a combine go through the field, and it's after the kernels of corn or the grains of wheat? It's not taking everything in for harvest. It's only taking a select few elements of what's out in that field. This earth is the filter. God's looking for people that he can be good to forever, that will never rebel against him. Gather the cluster of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the Now I know you have heard forever the wrath of God, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. Now, every time you see the word wrath in the New Testament, the Greek word behind it is either thumos, which means heavy breathing, or the word is orgy, excitement of the mind. It's one of those two words. And wrath, when you see the word wrath, it's always one of those two words. Which one is it? In this case, it's thumos, heavy breathing, passion. There's things that are done on this planet. Lots of stuff that involve heavy breathing. Some are more fun than others. Cast it into the winepress of the passion of God. It's what he is interested in. He wants the grapes. How many grapes? Oh, and the winepress was trodden without the city, outside. Now in Hebrews 13:13, it says, let us, how is it written? Let us go on to him without the, outside of the, it's outside of the city, kind of a concept, outside of the city, bearing his reproach. I know I didn't use the right word, but that's basically what he said. Let us go on to him outside the gates, outside the city, bearing, like Jesus was crucified outside the city, okay? Bearing his reproach. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood, wine, the blood of grapes. What is God after? He wants the grapes. And blood, wine, came out of, what was his first miracle? He turned the water into wine. When he turned the water into wine, they weren't looking for, nobody was looking for water, filtered water. Run the water through a filter because the water's really dirty. You can take flood water and run it through a filter and it's good enough to drink. They weren't looking for water. He wasn't looking for water. And the master of the ceremonies came to him and said, this is really strange, because save the best wine for last. Okay? And winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto a horse's bridle, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. That is a river of wine. God's hope. A river of wine. Enough grapes. God's hope. Enough grapes to make a river of wine 200 miles long and 5 feet deep. He is not interested in the stars of the sky or the sand of the seashore. Everybody, he wills that all be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. Yes, that is true, if they will come on his terms. If they won't come on, if they don't come his way through Jesus, forget it. They're not God's kids. It ain't gonna happen. But he is looking for a river of wine, 5 feet deep and 200 miles long. Enough grapes, enough sons and daughters. Enough sons and daughters that if each one was a grape, it would make a river of wine 5 feet deep and 200 miles long. That is the hope described in this book about his hope, Almighty God's hope. Kids, his sons and daughters that will be on his ship, his heaven castle in the sky, that he can tour the galaxies and universes forever with his kids. He can dream it, he can do it, and enjoy the journey as he goes.